Morning, everyone. It is a really good morning. This is the type of morning that makes you happy that you're just still kicking, to breathe in the beautiful air and see these beautiful sights. We are doing another day hike adventure. Sorry in advance if this is a little choppy and low light. The whole walk and film thing never really works that well, but apologies in advance. But we were doing a day hike adventure. We were headed to the Tecolote Rim, which is a P1K in northern New Mexico. We are in very northern New Mexico, pretty much halfway between the towns of Chama and Dulce. Probably about 5 miles from the Colorado border, I'd guess. Beautiful views at the high peaks, just over the state line, kind of in the region of the headwaters of the Rio Chama. Again, just beautiful. The Tecolote Rim, like I said, it's a P1K. It's around 9,800 feet, I want to say. It's Memorial Day weekend, actually the Saturday before Memorial Day, and that is very important because I am on the WA Humphries Wildlife Management Area, which does not open for general hiking until Memorial Day weekend, and then I think it closes again in mid-November. The sign at the front said that it was closed, but I imagine that's just because I beat whoever comes out to change the sign over. Hopefully I don't come back to a ticket. But yeah, this is, as you can tell, we are pretty much on a trail. I don't know much about this wildlife management area. There's a great video that I'll link to. One video of it I could find online. A gentleman really did his homework, went over a lot of the history of this management area. And this is an area, you know, I'm almost loath to put it on YouTube. It's so beautiful, so gorgeous so far. And but we don't keep secrets on this channel, you know that. Anyway, the Tecolote Rim is on the, something just ran by me, I think a lizard. Tecolote Rim is on the boundary of this management area, which is owned by the state, and Jicarilla Apache Reservation. So we're gonna kind of hike on this trail for a while, and then just looking at the map, looking at satellite imagery, thinking I found a good spot to kind of go off trail and work our way up the ridge to get to the rim. There's at least one elk over there. I saw it run away, and now I'm hearing more footsteps. Time has come to go off trail. Definitely getting flashbacks to Mosca Peak earlier this month. I'm really hoping that the bushwhacking isn't too bad. It stints right here, but I bet as the slope steepens, it'll get a lot better. There's something over there making some noise. But you can see there's so many game trails here that kind of, once I got that initial push, it's been pretty easy going ever since. See the Chama River Valley. Oh, you can't really see the Brazos cliffs. They're kind of behind that tree, but see Brazos Peak and Grouse Mesa. Just stunning. That's an antelope or a deer down there grazing. You can see now we picked up some old 2-track that I think is going to take us all the way to the peak. Uphill portion, really not too bad. It was pretty steep, but you know, there was so much game trail that it was pretty easy to kind of find a good way up. I think my way down will probably be a lot easier, just because, well, you know that you just have to go downhill. You don't have to worry about, oh, am I taking the right game trail or not? I would be surprised if anybody has driven on this 2-track in a long, long time. And if you're thinking that you can access the peak via this, I believe this can only be accessed from the Jicarilla Apache side. So I can't imagine that the general public that is not a member of that tribe can access this road. Goodbye, New Mexico, and hello, Colorado. Great view right now. Still not at the benchmark, but we're getting really close. We got to be looking at some 14ers and 13ers out there. That's the Pagosa area. Probably one of those is San Luis Peak, which if everything goes right, I will be on top of later this summer. Here we are, Tecolote Rim. We even got a little summit register. Take a look at that. So the one downside is probably the views were better at that sub peak. All right, as you could tell, beautiful views from the summit. We're looking east right now, and kind of like northeast. Views, really, I mean, there's a lot of local tree coverage on the summit itself. So when I was kind of on the north side of that sub peak, I was getting better views to the north. So if you're a veteran of this channel, you kind of know how things go. I get to the summit, say a few words, and then take some scenery shots, show you what peaks we're looking at. So I'm probably going to actually go off summit to get the views to the north, since they were pretty stellar and kind of tree covered up here. But it's t-shirt weather, as you can see, especially when the sun's out. Really, really nice. Tad windy. It is a red flag warning today. It's supposed to be intense fire danger, but you wouldn't be able to tell right now. I mean, it's breezy, but it's really not as bad as kind of like red flag weather. So I'm kind of appreciating what we've got so far. It might sprinkle later in the day, but I think we'll be well off trail by then, as in back to the car. Speaking of which, it took me about 2 hours to get up here, which is, my GPS was showing about 4 miles. So 4 miles, 2 miles an hour is pretty good, given that the hardest part of the climb, the actual climb, was pretty much off trail. It was a bushwhack, so I'll definitely take that. You see the high country around me, still pretty covered in snow in late May. We did have a pretty good winter, although it kind of tapered off towards the end. So I'm hoping that in the next week or so, I can start getting in the high country and do some real alpine climbing, make up for last year. Anyway, I'm gonna walk around the summit, appreciate some views, and then we'll see you guys back on the trail north of the peak. All right, we're back on the 2-track, heading north, back to the car. As you can tell, the wind has really picked up. I think now we are getting into that red flag warning that I was talking about earlier. But I think it'll be a pretty uneventful trip back to the trail, and then from there it's an easy trail walk back to the car. Okay, after about an hour, we are back on the trail. I kind of took a slightly different way back. Kind of kept more, I guess it would be south. Kept more south going down the slope, and it was probably a little bit, I mean, it was a little bit more direct. So in that sense, it was faster and a little easier, but then I had much more of a bushwhack to deal with on the bottom. Gave me flashbacks of Mosca Peak in a bad way.